RC, another sigh of relief for our guy, Dan Orlovsky, after Gardner Minshew was called for the safety after stepping out of the back of the end zone. Gardner joins Dan and Jimmy G as the only quarterbacks with that little back pedal. RC, is Dan off the hook?
Absolutely not. Dan is the trailblazer. Yeah. Like, you know how when somebody catches a football over the top of another defender, they go, you got mossed? Well, when you step out of the end zone, you've now pulled an Orlovsky. That's always going to be that. He was the first person to do it. He's the leader in the locker room. Everybody knows if this happens to you, you will forever be associated with Dan. And so, Dan, you aren't off the hook. And the other thing is this. When other people do it, they just step out. The one thing about Dan, when he goes all the way. Dan just scored a touchdown out of bounds. And so that's never going to change. Dan, you are the man, and I want you to always know that you got a place in our heart and also in the back of the end zone.
Without question.
Dio running. He was like, this D lineman ain't gaining no ground on me. He can't catch me. He can't catch me. He thought he had Jared Allen.
Running out of the end zone looking like Forrest Gump.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? Run, Forrest, run.
Who cut Dan hair back in the day, though? I know they had a barber.
All right. Enough strays for my guy right there.
I'm sorry, Dio. I'm sorry, Dio.
We love him.
Yeah. All right. Gardner got DO'd. We know what it is. All right. So Gardner may have stepped out of the end zone, but overall did a good job filling in for Anthony Richardson, who's still in concussion protocol. The Colts able to hand Lamar Jackson and the Ravens their first L in a 22-19 OT win. Lamar's new offense struggled. No OBJ, who was out with the ankle, and they only scored on 3 of their 15 offensive drives. Shannon, are you worried about Lamar and the Ravens offense?
I am, because I don't see the ooh-la-la that everybody told me I should expect from Todd Monken. I see the same offense that I saw the last couple of years under the last OC. So I'm looking for Lamar to push the ball down the field. I know there's no OBJ, and look, guys, everything is not going to be 75 and sunny. You're going to have to find a way to move the ball even when it's inclement weather. So we can't keep using, the wind was blowing. It was raining. Lamar's going to have to do a better job. He and Kenyon Drake's going to have to do a better job of protecting the football. But I didn't see anything. I was expecting to see Lamar push the ball down the field. I was expecting to see these formations, a lot of trickeration, a lot of window dressing. I see the same offense that everybody was tired of seeing over the last 4 years. I see no exoticness to this offense.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Like, that's Shannon, like, you make a great point. When they decided to get Todd Monken, it almost felt like they were now getting this offensive coordinator that was going to revolutionize what the Baltimore Ravens were doing. This isn't the first time Todd Monken's been a coach, and they're going to go back to what he was able to do at Georgia. Do you know what Georgia could do that the Ravens can't do? They can recruit, right? They could use NIL. They could get more 5 stars than everybody else. Hell, if I was coaching at Georgia, they'd want to give me a job too, because I got all the best players. So now it's about, how do you find an innovative way to help Lamar Jackson increase who he is as a passer, to help the Baltimore Ravens be able to threaten the deep part of the field, Stephen A. And they aren't doing that at all. Now, what was it supposed to be? It was supposed to be because now you have Zay Flowers, because now you have Odell Beckham Jr., you have a healthy Rashad Bateman, and they were supposed to be able to win one-on-ones. Well, everybody knows in order to win the one-on-ones, you got to create those for your player. You got to put the people in the right position. They were supposed to spread it out. They were supposed to give you all this space so Lamar Jackson could operate. You know what I saw in the red zone yesterday? I saw 2 called quarterback runs for Lamar Jackson. And guess what they were? They were extremely successful. You know what else I've seen since 2019, Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp, in the red zone? I've seen called runs for Lamar Jackson that were extremely successful. We aren't seeing anything different. And I actually think whatever the simple changes are that they're trying to make to the passing game is holding this offense back. It's putting this offense in a place where now Lamar Jackson is thinking, where now the receivers' route combinations aren't as crisp. They need to simplify it. And I don't want people to take this wrong, like Lamar can't handle it. There seems like there's too much going on. Like we're trying to take too big of a step instead of finding out what does this group of individuals do well, and let's do that. There is no consistency to who the Baltimore Ravens were, and at least with Greg Roman, though it was elementary, though we hated the passing game, they were consistent. And they had something they were good at, and they did it over and over again. I don't know who this Ravens team is, and they don't have an offensive identity yet, and that's the thing that scares me more than anything.
Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think that both of you are being a bit too hard on the Baltimore Ravens, dare I say. I mean, where's the compassion? Where's the compassion? I mean, somebody's got to ask the question, so I'm going to ask it. I mean, you got OBJ, he's out. Okay. You got Dobbins, he's out. You've got Zay Flowers, who's a rookie, okay? You've got a situation where Gus Edwards, I think they said he was suffering from a concussion. You had that going on, okay? Even though he was in the game last night, what have you, he ultimately had to depart. He's not himself, okay? Ajabo, the linebacker, he was out, even though we're not talking defense, we're talking offense. When you look at the Baltimore Ravens right now and you consider the personnel that they were expected to have in place and the way they've been compromised due to injuries, I'm going to sit up there and say, wait a minute now. I get it. There should be some concern, but I also understand, at least it makes sense as to why they're looking the way that they look. Now, let me go through some of my stats right here. They're 11th ranked in the NFL in total offense as we speak at this particular moment in time. They're third in the league in third down efficiency category at 51%. Lamar Jackson second in the league to Justin Herbert, a completion percentage of 73%. The Ravens are one of only 7 teams who scored 19 or more points in each game entering the game. So I'm just looking at it from the standpoint, let's understand. We see why. Some things are inexplicable. Some things there's no explanation for. Some things you just look sorry. In this particular instance, we expected something different, not just because of the offensive coordinator. We expected it because of the personnel.
Right.
And at least 2 to 3 components expected on the offensive side of the ball were not there, which is why Lamar Jackson's running for 101 yards yesterday, okay? Right. Zay Flowers is your elite receiver. We going to act like Nelson Aguilar or something to write home about now? I know he's not a scrub. He can play. But since when we going to treat him like he's the ideal number 2 dude and, they got a number 1? And come on now, there's some question marks there.
They told us this thing was going to be different.
But I just told you they got some injuries, though. They did, right?
When you came in here sniffing and coughing, you showed up to work, right?
I did.
Okay, then.
Why are you business in the streets, Steve?
Wait, hold on, Shannon. Is he sniffing and coughing? Because don't come back to New York.
Yes.
Yes, stay out in L.A.
First of all, sneezing, allergies. Thank you very much.
Well,
you
that's
once
what
remembered
everyone
that
says. It's
when you were out here in
allergies.
LA, but now you want to act like you don't know. There's a bunch of allergies going
Everyone
on in
tells me
LA
it's
now,
allergies,
right? Just forgot.
And then next thing I know,
Allergies aren't contagious.
Allergies.
Yeah.
She's trying to act like
You put
A bunch of allergies going on.
Molly,
You can't catch an allergy.
I'm not what I used to be. I don't mind taking days off if I'm sick. I'll call in. Trust me. I won't come in sick. I will call
Now,
in.
you can't call in. You can't call in right now?
Right. I do have somebody that's calling in, though, but let me do this first. So coming up, the Bears' woes continue after another loss, but how much of that should be on Justin Fields' shoulders? Shannon's take might surprise you. And I didn't mean calling in, I meant tweeting in. Do we have that? Tweet? I no longer like Ryan, Stephen A., or Shannon. Forrest Gump, who cuts his hair? He scored a TD out of the end zone. Dan, I had your back. I know it doesn't mean much, but I did.
We love you, bro. We love you.